What's up? Hey man, thanks. Thank you guys for all tuning in. Man, this is episode 21 of Expert Mentors Live, which man just absolutely blows me away. That we're really stacking these trainings each and every week, and we're already about to be 21 deep. And man, just couldn't be even more excited for not only today's training, but also the trainings that we have in store for all of you guys. Moving forward, we've got, as you saw, if you guys are watching us now, the 40 list was posted this morning, and so you definitely notice some names on there, and there's names that have been expert mentors on the call with us, and then we also got them in the lineup coming. So make sure you guys are tuning in every Wednesday at noon Central, and really taking advantage of these expert mentor live calls. And really what these calls are about is that, as you noticed on that 40 list, there's some amazing, talented people in this community and some amazing, talented people that want to give back to everybody in the Honey Badger Nation, and the Fast Forward movement. And we really appreciate you guys taking the time to pour back in and pour back into everybody. So, man, super excited to have Mr. Joe Hollo from the land. I've got my little Machine Gun Kelly shirt on to represent the, I know he's over on the east side, but you guys are holding down the west side of the 216. So cool, man. So Joe's going to be diving into, some team leadership dynamics and building a team on the EXP platform. So you guys will definitely want to make sure that you have your notepad and pen handy, ready to stab some notes. So Joe, man, hey, tell us a little bit about you, and then, let's jump into the topic that you're going to share with everybody today.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that. So a little bit about me real quick is, let's see, I was an individual agent. Al and I met at Remax. Okay. So I was an individual agent at Remax, specialized in new construction, was beating my head against the wall with these builders. I was getting my commission beat up on me. I wasn't getting paid. I was sitting in models on Saturday and Sunday. So you might have been missing the Sooners game, but I was missing my Buckeyes games on Saturday, the Browns games on Sundays, and it was horrible. I was burnt out. I was pissed off, and I was thinking about making a switch. So Al and I met up for a little lunch, and Al knew what he was doing. I didn't know what Al was doing at the time. So he goes, "Man, I know you're looking to switch. Come on back to my office. Just give me 15 minutes. That 15 minutes may have included a six-pack of the beer of my choice, but it was cool because he showed me things that I had no clue about, which was how to leverage a team, how to leverage a staff members, how to lead generate. I was missing that. There was huge holes in my business, so it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool how we kind of connected. I joined his team, and I didn't sell a damn house for 6 months. So he sat me down and he goes, "Dude, what the hell are you doing?" And here I thought it was all plug and play. Like, yeah, you give me some pay-per-click leads. I'm going to let the lead follow-up system do itself. And it wasn't, because there's got to, there's human element that's involved in converting these leads. And I didn't know. Actually, I think I did know. I was just lazy at the time. So Al got me really dialed into your guys' systems, the home selling system, the home buying system. And that was a career changer for me, to be honest with you. So I became one of Al's top listing agents, and eventually just started molding myself into a leadership role. I saw we were growing at such a rapid pace, and he was looking at someone just to crunch some numbers, run some, success numbers, our metrics. And he had nobody to do it, nothing in place. So I just stepped up and I started doing it. And it worked. It really did work. And so what we did was that converted me into a little bit of a leadership role, which was weird because I still had to sell at the same time. But then after a while, we just took a leap of faith and said, okay, you're going to be out of selling completely. Take the leadership role and start managing the agents. At that point, he got me hooked up with you, you, Jay, and Michael. And, you guys helped me through, coaching agents on what that looked like, holding them accountable. And it's kind of, it was up and down from there. It's never easy when you take an agent out of production and then start paying them money, right? It's a double negative on the book. So that was one of the hardest things that, I had to, we all had to wrap our head around. So but it worked really well. It really did. We had a great year. We had another down year a little bit after that. But then recently, obviously, we merged with another team, and we've kind of blown it out of the water here. So, we went from 9 agents in, I think, December. Then we were at 15 agents in January, and now we're at 36 agents right now. So my role and responsibility have changed drastically, just because I was doing a lot. I was wearing a lot of hats, and so was Al, right? 2-man group running a pretty successful company, doing about 1.6, 1.7 million in GCI, to now we have 36 agents. And if I did that, I probably would sleep at the office and still not get anything done.
For sure.
So that's kind of where we're at.
Cool. So, I have a unique advantage on this on this call today, because I have a lot of insight, obviously, with Al and yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm going to kind of throw some questions in for all of you guys tuning in. If you have any questions, throw them in the chat or the Q&A, and we'll be glad to answer along the way any questions that you guys may have when you look at how, to sustain from 7, 8, 9 to 36. So let's start at that point, to where what your roles and responsibilities look like at that time, and really what your week and your day consisted of. And then we'll talk about the transition and then what it is today. And then I want to touch on some things, give everybody kind of a framework that needs to be part of their strategic planning sessions to really prepare for this. Because, like I said, in that 40 group, right, as we're seeing how everybody's growing and impacting, there's a couple different ways you guys can go, right? You can just sponsor them, or there's certain people that are gravitating to you guys for a team concept because of your value proposition. So we can touch a little bit on that as well. But let's go back to when you guys made the move over to EXP about a little over a year ago, kind of what your roles and responsibilities in the day-to-day activities look like. Actually, take us through what it was being independent to what it looked like at EXP. So let's give everybody that framework so they can kind of get their head around that as well.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So where we were at with the independent brokerage is, what I would consider a very successful brokerage, that Al was running. And short version of the story is we lost 2 of our top agents. They were selling, I think one sold 63 houses one year. The other sold 59. The way Al puts it is $400,000 in company dollar walked out the door is what happened. And they took 2 other agents, which, weren't very producing agents, but 2 other agents with them. So 4 agents walk out the door. They want to start their own team. And at that point, we realized we were always working through the model of what it looked like to help a team grow, or help individuals grow and support a team under a team. And we couldn't figure it out. We thought we had it dialed in, couldn't figure it out, and what that end game looked like for our agents. That was one of the cool things with Al that I noted early when I first joined him, is that he was the first, whether you want to call him employer, leader, that I've ever had that sat me down and said, "What are your goals?" And I'm thinking, what the hell is he talking about? Why does he want to know my goals? And he takes his agent's success personally. He wants us to hit our goals, and if not, if he can't help us do it, he does take it personally. So he wanted what was in the best interest of the agents, and say, okay, how can I help you retire? How can I help you get ownership of the company? What is your end game? What are you going to sell your business? When have you ever heard of a real estate agent selling their business? So it was, what was that next step? And he actually called me one day. It was a Saturday, I remember. And he had Brent Gove on the line, and he goes, "Man, here's the deal. I want you to watch this webinar, take a look at it, and then jump back on the phone with us." I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." So I did, and I watched it, and it was like everything that we were trying to do, and we were like right there too. Yeah. It was it. It was everything that made an advantage. Okay, so what's the advantage of joining Stasic Real Estate? You know, we had our advantages. I mean, you know, our benefits, no doubt about it. But you know, it's just that next step up. What was the advantage of having our agents help recruit people to Stasic Real Estate? We had none. We had a small mentorship program that had an ending point to it, and that was the end of it. So this, the whole entire model, it was every single check in the box was there for us. So it totally made sense. It was a no-brainer. It was pretty cool seeing Al transition from, you know, honestly, with swallowing his pride, because he didn't have any. But my point is that you got your damn name on these signs, right? You own your own brokerage, and now you're closing it up to go under somebody else's brokerage. And he didn't care what the chatter was in the area, because he knew that what we made was phenomenal. It really was. And we're doing it now the exact same way, but at such a higher level with so many more advantages to all of our agents.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And for those of you listening to us or tuning into the recording, if you want to really get more in depth on that story, you can tune into episode 19 that Kinder, Al, and myself did for the death of the real estate team. And that was really what we were hitting on, right? What really sparked the awareness into and making the decision-making process to make the move over to EXP. So let's talk about your dynamics in the leadership capacity and leading the team, because for most people that are listening to this, they're in production and they're leading their team if they have a team. And so they're wearing a couple different hats. And so, you know, for Al was able to get that hat off, which you put on, and really leading the sales training and accountability side of things. So talk to me what the advantages of moving over to EXP when it comes to the leadership and accountability versus when you guys were just independent.
Okay. Let me see. So as far as that, I mean, there was a lot of things that are very incidental that got taken off of our plates, or whether it was mine or whether it was, you know, Brittany or our closing coordinators or anybody's. I mean, little things from, you know, the escrow letters to paying out agents, to doing audits on making sure the agents got all the pay. That stuff takes time. You know, we were doing audits every single week, and I couldn't tell you how much time it was spent on checking the deals, checking the sources, making sure the pay was right, you know, handling deals like that. That's completely off of our plate now, you know, because EXP was handling that themselves. Yes, you still need to do some accounting, but as far as the grand scheme of things, the large picture, that was getting taken care of. So it allowed me to, you know, like I said, we run it very similar to how we did run it. We've had to add people on board since we went from 15 to 36 agents very fast. But my roles and responsibilities, I mean, I'll be honest with you, it was a little bit spread thin. You know, I was dabbling or in a bunch of different things all throughout, which what Darren Hardy says is, you know, you could be mediocre at a bunch of things or world-class at a few things. And I think as we grow and we provide the support that the agents are looking for, you know, I'm finally dialed into being world-class at a few things, which instead of worrying about the audits, you know, we have other people in place for that kind of stuff. But right now, basically my roles and responsibilities are, you know, is accountability, you know, coaching the agents. And I do a little bit with the ISAs. You know, do some of their tracking work. I have a 10 o'clock meeting every single morning with them. I go over their metrics from the day before. We talk about what success looks at, where they're at for the week, and who our hit list is of the agents that are owed referrals from us. So,
gotcha. So when you guys were independent, then so what you were saying is that your roles and responsibilities were really thin. And I think for a lot of people, you know, make sure that you're clear that you have roles and responsibilities. And, you know, how did you guys have it set up to measure your success? I think this is important for people to get as well. Not only do you have to have clear roles and responsibilities for every function, every hat that you're wearing, you know, you have your roles and responsibilities, but what were some of your key metrics that, you guys were using to really measure success?
Well, I mean, in my position, and I'm not sure if this is the question that you're asking, but in my position, we measure success starting with the agents, to making sure that they're getting through their, I'm sure everybody's heard of our 25-10-4 board, getting through their 25-10-4 board. I was measuring my success on how the ISAs, if they were making their dials, having their conversations and setting their appointments on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. And also my success was measured on the success of the team. How many, how many appointments were being set, how many were being converted, and how many were being sent towards the closing department.
Gotcha. Cool. And if you guys are interested in the 25-10-4 board, you can check out episode, I believe 5, when Al was on and he went through the whole 25-10-4 board. So definitely worth checking out for sure, for a great rhythm of accountability for yourself each and every month to be able to go through. So let's kind of fast forward to today, right? Because we're talking about, you have a time allocation to where you can get to 7, 8, 9, 10 agents, right? Pretty easy. You can do that. Accountability. That's why you were spread thin on your roles and responsibilities, because, you had a third of the agents, a little less than maybe a fourth of the agents that you guys have now. And so allocation of time, you can do a lot more. Well, that's not the case today because of so many agents. So kind of let's walk people through the progression to where you start to shed roles and responsibilities. And then you really, like you said, hone in and focus in only on a handful that, like you said, world class at, that you're able to do what you need to do to help them be successful, level of accountability, holding them to their commitments. So talk to us a little bit about, as that grew, when you knew it was time to start shedding those responsibilities.
Yeah, when so number one is when we start going through our quarterly planning meetings, and we lay out, we do our SWOT analysis, and we always go over our roles and responsibilities. We rehash them, and we get everybody who's supposed to be involved, and making sure that we're positioning ourselves for success. Does this need to be on your plate, or does it need to be on somebody else's plate? Are we growing? What else is going to be on our plates? And we rehash that all the time. So, we're in a position now where we do have, our leadership consists of 4 people, Al, Dave, Matt, and myself. And so I think we have it very dialed in that we literally said, okay, on a daily basis, here's what it takes to run the company. Who's owning what? And the awesome thing with these guys is they're all very similar, including myself, where if I say, yep, I'll handle that. Nope, that's not on you. You don't have the time for that. Dave's going to handle that. So, we rehash that quite a bit, but, really sitting down and looking at the entire process and the vision of us growing, what roles and responsibilities are going to change. So I'm not sure if I answered your question there or not. But it sounded damn good.
Dive a little bit deeper into, as you guys are growing, right? Leadership and getting clear on whose name's in what box, and really clear. And when we mean in box, we're talking about the function, right? So in any business, it doesn't matter if we're trying to peddle, snow cones out on the corner. You have your head of company, you have your, head of sales, you have your head of marketing, you have your head of operations, and you have your head of finance. Those are the main leadership buckets in anything that you do. That, if you're the solopreneur, you're in all the buckets, right? You're in all of those buckets. And that's cool. You can stay solopreneur. But if you have the aspirations that you want to grow a team, or you want to create some leverage around you, then, your job is to get your name out of the boxes and put people into the boxes, and really shedding those boxes that you're not good at. It goes back to high leveraged activities. It goes back to, where you're going to get the greatest return on your time in this business. It's face-to-face with motivated sellers. It's face-to-face with motivated buyers. And now it's face-to-face with potential recruits, either coming on if you're building a team, or, that you're just going to sponsor and bring over to the EXP, platform. And so, if you're not spending, it's the 70% of your working time on those activities, then you're not, and you're not getting the results, is because you're not spending enough time on those activities. So as you transitioned, and you were just really, diving in now, and you made a good point. I'm not going to let you off the hook, because I want you to kind of share what your roles and responsibilities and key metrics are. But you made a good point, and I hope everybody caught it, is that as you are growing, you're growing fast. Part of your quarterly strategy sessions have to incorporate organizational structure. You have to really look at, when you're clear on what is the goal, that what does the organization look like to support the goal. And it's a cool thing, man. Organizational structure it's not black and white, man. It's a blank whiteboard that you get to design however you want to design it. And that's the cool thing when it comes to it. You have your main boxes, but you get to structure it any which way you want that is going to support what you're trying to accomplish. And so, as Al, the Stasic Group Independent, to brokered by EXP, to now Chase Stasic, brokered by EXP, then, for you, as your leadership responsibilities grew, because as the team grew, your roles and responsibilities have narrowed.
Figure that out.
Right?
Yep.
So what are those specific roles and responsibilities now? I know you talked about, are the agents successful, but what are you guys looking at? And here's what I want everybody to take away. It has to be in an agreement, because if you don't form the agreement, then it's left up to expectations. And anytime you leave anything up to expectations, you will always be let down. And it's not intentional. It's like, Joel, I mean, you're gonna pour your heart in. You're gonna do the best that you possibly can. But yet, if you and Al and Dave and Matt don't agree on what is success and have that agreement of success, then we're just gonna, we're gonna have some serious letdown in the future. We're gonna be frustrated when it could all be resolved when you don't have to do that. You can form the agreement. So let's look at exactly what your roles and responsibilities are now, and what that agreement of success is.
Yeah. So what my roles and responsibilities are is to have one-on-one coaching calls with the agents every single week. All right. And I meet with the ISAs at 10 o'clock every single day. And like I said, we go over their metrics, what success looks like for them for that week, where they're currently at, who's our hit list of our agents for referrals. We just recently incorporated, thanks to you and John Cheplack, group accountability. Which it's going to be fantastic. We have not kicked it off yet. It's going to happen this coming up week. But I'm really excited about that, because we have a high level of accountability. And that's another one of my roles and responsibilities is, holding the agents to their commitments, where they're at according to their goals. When you talk about goals, if you want to make the hair on your back stand up, go run what the agents' goals are from 15 agents to 36. And that's very eye-opening. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's pretty cool. And one thing I really had to work on is when you're coaching or managing 15 agents, it's dialed in. I remember our last conversation that we had last week. 36 agents, I got to take good notes, and I want to make sure that I am doing my job, once again, taking their success personally and making sure that they're dialed into their metrics, which is, we do, our Bible is the 25-10-4 board. So, I'm in the office every single day. Do I have to be? No, I could do my job from home, to be honest with you. I choose to be here because I choose to, help the culture, help the environment here in the office. Amazingly, that's an unwritten role and responsibility. I want people to walk into our office when they're coming to meet with me, whether it's to be an agent on our team, whether it's, a brand new agent that just joined our team, or, they're thinking about coming on over, I want them to walk in that door and I got to work here just because of what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I love it for sure. So unpack a little bit here. So you guys are moving to the group accountability. Are you still going to try and meet with everybody one-on-one as well?
Nope. So that will continue to happen. So with the 36 agents, what we decided to do is we're going to do 2 groups of 10. So 20 of the agents will be in 2 separate groups of 10 doing the group accountability. I will still be doing one-on-ones with the 16 other agents.
Perfect. Okay, so let's unpack that for everybody a little bit so they can get their head around, right? There's a lot of misconceptions of, well, what is coaching? What is training? What is, mentoring? I mean, what is it, right? I mean, sometimes that word gets thrown around so loose that it's like, what are you talking about? So you got to get really clear of what that means. So unpack for everybody. We're gonna unpack both. Unpack what the one-on-one dynamic looks like. Yep. And give everybody some context. What, how long is it? Kind of what's kind of the set, questions, things of that nature.
Yep. And so, so the one-on-one coaching, basically, I try to be pretty consistent about the sessions where, agent, we hook up on a conference line. It's 30 minutes long every single week. I'm going over their metrics of the week. So the first thing that I want to touch on real quick with them is the referrals or the leads that they got for that week. I want some follow-up on that to make sure that they're handling those correctly. We go over their 25-10-4 board, how many opportunities they're creating. I want to make sure that they're feeding the top of the funnel with those opportunities. I want to see how many avenues that they got, anything we could build their business on. A huge thing is are they struggling with anything? Are they having any challenges in the past week? What's been very successful for them? And then we make up our commitments, for between now and our next call. So that's a quick overview of how that works. Now the group, it's not group coaching, it's going to be group accountability. All right. So it's the nice thing about that from, what you and what John Cheplak was sharing is that, when you put people in a group and it's all different dynamics, right? You have a high producer, you have a part-time agent who's a stay-at-home mom, and her goals are only doing 1 deal a month as opposed to people doing 6. And, there's power in numbers. Okay. So what he says is also when you're in a group accountability with all your peers, right? You're setting, when they're in a one-on-one situation, let me back up a little bit. It's very easy for them to tell me what they want, what I want to hear, right? And work their way through it. But when you're in a situation with all your peers, it's a lot less likely for that to happen, right? So inside of these group accountabilities, what we're going to do is we're going to pair them up every single week. It's a 6-week program. Every single week, they are going to be with a brand new accountability partner. All right. So what we're going to do is each week they're going to take 3 measurable or actionable commitments. All right. I want them to be able to leverage the group for any challenges that they're having. I want the group to chip in and help them out. All right. And so when we do that, when we set them up with a different accountability partner, now all of a sudden I could call that accountability partner and I could say, hey, John, how's Al doing this week? How's it going with him? And naturally what's going to happen is I'm going to find out how Al's doing, but I'm also going to find out, John, you're going to end up just telling me how you're doing as well. But I'm also going to be able to check in with Al on your success. So when we get into the next meeting, I'm going to ask them, here was your commitment. Were you able to keep it? Okay. Was there anything in your power that, you could have kept it? How do you feel about yourself that we weren't able to? And are you ready to recommit to this? So I'm like I said, we haven't, this will be up this week, but man, I'm looking very forward to it. It's going to, and don't take this the wrong way, but it releases me from a lot of time. But this is a piece of the puzzle where the only reason I'm doing it, because I feel it's so crucial for our team. Because accountability is easily slipped away when it gets diluted when you grow so fast. So that's one thing that I think in our position as managers, as leaders, or as coaches, whatever you want to look at it, the greatest form of love is accountability. And so, we love every single one of these people, and we, once again, takes their success personally. So I want to see them succeed. And that's the only reason I hold you accountable. It's not because I hate you. It's not because, I want to yell at you. It's because we love you.
Right. Absolutely. Is there are you guys planning on rotating out or forming a third group, getting everybody into accountability, or how are you letting them determine if they need a one-on-one session, coaching dynamic? And, what other dynamics in the one-on-one is covered, right? I know you go through the metrics in the 25-10-4. And what else? What else do you guys dive into? What are the questions? What other things that really allow or make a one-on-one necessary?
Well, there's a bunch of phases to it from, and it goes in different directions depending on what that agent is looking for. One big change that we made, and I know you're looking for a specific answer, but hang on a second. So the thing that we changed is that, we were a military. So, this was basic military over here. And what we realized was you cannot manage people the way that you want to manage them. You manage them the way they want to be managed. And that was the biggest eye opener. So these agents, the conversation goes in all different directions because it depends on, what they're looking for at that time. And that was one thing that it was a hard pill for me to swallow when I'm looking across the table from someone who has so much talent, but they only want to do 12 deals a year because, like I said, they're a stay-at-home mom. They have 4 girls that they need to take care of, and I need to be okay with that.
Right. I think where a lot of folks struggle and they don't have the one-on-one accountability is because they don't know what questions to ask, right? They don't know what's the structure, what really keeps things moving. And, you get into that one-on-one, you cover the metrics, you identify where the choke point is, and you can dive in from there, right? That's why it's always critical to look at your numbers, right? And embrace the numbers, because the numbers tell the story, and right. you can work from there. What's causing that constraint?
Yep.
And you can dive and go down that rabbit hole. Leave it open, some questions. I would say, for any of you that are looking to improve on your coaching dynamics with your team, if you're leading anybody, I would say the Coaching Habit is a must read. It gives you the framework. I mean, you can literally go to page 200 and there's 7 questions that are laid in there that you can immediately have at your disposal to start asking. And then, the Bible for coaching really is coactive coaching. So, those 2 reads, if you want to increase your coaching skill set with your team and leading and those dynamics, those are 2 good reads that will they become reference manuals that'll be able to help you really improve on that dynamic for sure. But
don't forget about the positive coach approach either.
Yeah, true. So there's some really good stuff out there that will help. It's just like anything, right? You got to invest in yourself to improve so you can have a greater impact on those around you. But are you guys going to look to rotate those out and give everybody a one-on-one opportunity at some point?
Yeah, we're the ones creating we're creating the groups, and so here, disclaimer: we don't have anybody that we're looking to remove. But one thing that John Cheplack actually said is that if you do have someone who you're not sure if they're a fit, this is going to weed out people, or it's going to make them completely commit to your group, which is really cool. I think our agents work very well with each other. But yeah, we're program. He said what you do is you should take somewhere 2, 3, or 4 weeks off with the people, with the agents from the group atmosphere, put them back into the one-on-ones, and just keep doing one big rotation. Switch up the groups. So it's amazing. It has been a little challenge. I mean, it's easy for us to put people in 10-person groups, but I want to get it right. So it's thinking about it and seeing in all different dynamics. But yes, we are going to be rotating them in and out.
Cool. I love it.
It's necessary for the one-on-ones.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. What do you think is the biggest advantage for you now, you guys not being independent and on the EXP platform for what you do in leading, um, leading the team, right? Because you guys still have team members that were with you when you guys were independent and now over to the EXP platform. What advantages and maybe even disadvantages have you seen for you and what you're doing as you guys have made the transition?
Well, as far as the advantages, I mean, there's always going to be little disadvantages, but the disadvantages were only the disadvantages that come with change, right? Learning something new. I mean, the good thing is we've had a couple platforms that were very aligned with EXP. It just happened that way. But it was anytime you put people through change, you don't know the result you're going to get out of it, right? And you know that. So the good thing with our agents is we did not lose one agent. And the reason is because if our agents were comfortable with anything, it's comfortable with change, because we went from a group to a brokerage to changing the brokerage names to new CRMs to, we just threw everything at them. And man, they're warriors. They just put on their gear and plowed right through it. So, we appreciate them so much. But so that, as far as disadvantages go, that's about it. I mean, if you're okay with not having your brokerage name, if you're a small brokerage on the sign, good deal. As far as the advantages go, man, I'll tell you what, just by relieving myself, and some of our staff with some of the incidentals that gets taken over, you'd be amazed by how cool that is, not having to, like I said, pay out agents and deal with that and worried about if it's right or not. The accounting side, the other advantages are for us in leadership and for our agents. Us in leadership, agents are naturally attracted to you. I don't sell houses. Organically, it happens because my aunt wants to go buy a house, and you know what? I'm not going to let her deal with anybody else. But so I might do 6, 8, 10 transactions a year just from my sphere. And Al actually kicked me a new listing. I have a showing on it every other day. I will bet you 50% of the agents call me. So they set up the showing, they call me, and they're like, "Hey, we saw you were with EXP. What's going on over there?" I'm not even doing anything. They are literally calling me. So I think that right there's an advantage for leadership. And these are people that I'll be honest with you, they don't know who I am. I haven't been in the in the market to sell homes for 3.5 years now. So yes, like I said, I dabble in it a little bit with my sphere, but dude, that is a huge advantage. Our agents, we got them on a little program. It's our post-close program. And the post-close program is, I think you'll start seeing them come up, but people in our group are literally taking videos of themselves on Facebook saying, "Hey, this is Joel Hollo with eXp Realty. I'm just at my house. I'm getting my keys for my client who just closed on it. Say hi, guys. Yep. And hey, by the way, I'm helping out my retirement as I close this house. I just received X amount of shares of stocks from my company, and they're putting those types of videos together. They also send an email out to the co-broke. And the email is basically like, "Hey, I appreciate, your professionalism. I appreciate the smooth transaction. And I'm not sure if you see what we're doing over here at EXP, but I really would appreciate your professional opinion on this. Take a look at this webinar and just let me know your thoughts." That is an advantage for them because they don't realize a lot of people take the revenue share for granted. Here, I did. I'll be the first to admit, I'm thinking, you know what? I got Al's back. I'm going to do my job no matter what. No matter, he could sit me in a teepee in the parking lot and I'm going to do my job. So I'm like, yeah, let's do this. And so I did not believe it. Shame on me. So, I see how powerful it is. And I see our agents' success with it too. We have one of our agents who I think she's a part-time agent, sells about 8 houses a year. And she's probably making more in revenue share than she is selling houses because of, she's out there at the social events. She's out there attracting other agents. So it's really neat seeing how I've never had it that way. No one has ever called me to join our brokerage at Stasic Real Estate. And as soon as we made the move, they're doing this. Another huge advantage that we have as a group is that we have a beautiful office space. It's in a prime location. I'll tell you what, that is another reason, because as soon as we thought that agents didn't really see an advantage of having an office space, man, it changed, because our agents, they're on the road, right? Our average agent before we merged was selling 37 houses a year. I think that's a great number for a group. And they, they're out there, they're busting the pavement selling houses. We never saw them in the office.
Right.
And so, when we merged, it was a come to Jesus moment when we merged, because Matt Chase and the way that he ran his company, man, we implemented a lot of that stuff to get the agents back into the office, because they're taking their business to the next level. We've implemented deal days where an agent comes in and they're taking all the incoming leads for that day. When they sign up for it, they're sitting in the office every day. We have Tuesday call nights that we re-implemented, stuff that we forgot about 4 or 5 years ago. That we're like, it's not really working. Our agents are doing okay. So we really started hammering down in a good way the accountability and what we're doing. So, I think that agents do see an advantage of that, because, they're getting stuff out of it. They're getting, free leads, free referrals. They're getting the support, the office atmosphere, the camaraderie, the environment.
That's awesome. How are you helping coach them? They're being proactive on their agent attraction activities. Are you coaching them through on some of those activities as well? And do you have, how are they coming in? Obviously they're coming in if they recruit them. Are they part of Chase Stasic, or are they just staying sponsored by, or how does that dynamic, that structure look?
Yeah. So, if one of our agents does, recruit somebody, they're definitely going underneath that agent. So, here's the cool thing is, when they do that, it's our job to help them recruit the agents, right? Because why? Everybody benefits from that. So, exactly what you guys say, our goal is to go 10 by 10 with all of our agents. And I'll be honest with you, it's not for some people. It's not. But yes, we are helping them recruit. We are helping them, or I should say attract, I apologize, but we're helping them attract. And we're also closing down these agents and giving them a couple different options. Hey, listen, Chase Stasic Group, here's the benefit of us. Man, in our benefits list, we actually had to hone it down, because it looked like it could have been like a trifold this big. But
right.
What we ended up doing, man, and I'll tell you what, is that people actually see a value in a team, and that's what I've learned. Don't take anybody for granted when you meet with them, no matter what situation you feel that they're in. So, when we do help our agents attract other agents. We sit down with them. They have my Calendly link. They have Al's Calendly link. They will literally throw a 30-minute call in the schedule. Al will jump on, help close down these agents, and then help them decide whether the team is the right fit for them or an individual agent.
I love it. Yeah. It's definitely that awareness there, helping them build their their downline, their future. You and I have talked about it. And, if you guys caught Death of the Real Estate episode, the Death of the Real Estate Team on episode 19, if you watch the last 5 minutes, that's what we talk about, is that I really truly believe, and I've challenged you on this, is that you want to be the guy that's known as taking more team members to icon status than anybody else on the planet. And when you can do that, you dramatically change people's lives in a way that they can't even comprehend at the moment. And so it really is a challenge. I know you're up to it, and definitely making sure. So this is a great lesson for everybody, is that if that is the vision, right, then how do you design and align the structure, the curriculum, the training, the accountability to help support that, right? So it really is, and it's so, because I know so many of us want to give back, and I've had the opportunity to coach hundreds and hundreds of agents across the country, and almost everybody has this deep down desire to add value and add back, and they want to either coach or they want to speak. They just want to add value back to others. And I really believe that this model is the best model out there that allows you to do that. And so definitely take advantage of it and really hone your skill set in that belief to how can you take your people and grow them to where they're not a half cap team member, but they are now in position to be an icon agent to where they're attracting and bringing other agents on board underneath them as well.
Yeah, and you talk about life changing. I mean, one of our seasoned veteran agents, and I won't mention his name, but you've met him before in the boot camps. When I have a call with him and we're talking in depth about EXP, because I love my conversations. He's been in the industry for 37 years. And I always joke with him because I was born 37 years ago. So he hates that. But 37 years, and he's never had an opportunity like this. And the last call I had with him, he goes, between the stocks that I'm able to purchase with 5% of my commission check at a 20% discount, since we started here a year ago, his stocks are worth $19,000 right now. Damn. And he goes, I would have never have had something like this if I didn't, if you guys didn't present this opportunity to me. And wow. He goes, thank you for this.
Yeah. It's awesome.
That's life changing, and not 19,000, but what's it going to be by the time he retires, and how much more is he going to add to that, and how much more is the stock going to go up? And it's fantastic.
Yeah, it really is. It's a great platform to there really is not a lid on the opportunity of how you structure and lead and grow your people. If any of you guys hanging out with this have any questions, throw them in the chat or the Q&A, or if you're listening to the recording, throw a comment in the post. Love to get some engagement. Anything that you guys have. But Joel, as kind of moving here towards the end of the call, is there anything that you really want to hammer home with everybody on the point of understanding, and then anything that we can do to add value back to you?
Yeah, you know what? Just a couple of the things that, if you are out there and looking at either building your team or expanding your team or starting a team, one of the things that we really look into is differentiating yourselves from the rest of the teams out there, right? What's your value add? And I'll tell you, one of the things that you really helped us out with, John, is, is really being coaching and training centric. And, that's what we've really gone off of. I can't tell you how many people, agents, other team leads, whomever, talk about joining another brokerage. And I'm not dogging any other brokerage by any means, because I know they're all different. But where they were promised all this training, and guess what they got? Nothing. So, we have made a pact that is not going to be the case. We are very strict about our onboarding process. And I'm not talking about onboarding the EXP. I'm talking about onboarding to our team. Everybody has a role and responsibility to it, from signing their independent contractor agreement with us to that triggering our photographer getting their information to take their headshot. So it's uniform with ours for their business card, for our website, all the way on down the line. Then it starts our training process, right? And it's twofold. It's whether they're an experienced veteran agent, or if they haven't even seen a piece of paper contract in their life. Okay, so we have two different training programs for that. But ultimately, they all funnel back to your NAEA training, and we put them all through that. And it's fabulous. I've gotten so many good feedback on it. And that's the big why. I remember when Al, and I'll be blunt, was shoving your placemat down my throat with the listing. And I have no idea what the hell he's talking about. I go to one boot camp and I'm like, damn, this is what he's talking about? So, I want to make sure that doesn't happen to anybody else. I don't want them to wait 1 year before they get the big vision. So they're all dialed into this onboarding process. They have to sign off on when they are completed with each of the training videos. They obviously take your test at the very end. One thing that made my life, and this might help a lot of people out, is the training process. Within the training process is automate it as much as possible. What we did, instead of, one of the challenges that I had is I was training all these brand new agents fresh out of school, every single line in the damn purchase agreement. And it was, I don't know how I didn't hurt somebody, put it that way.
Painful.
Yeah. And so what I did is, Al's like, why don't you just like screen share and record yourself going through the contract? And that way they could just watch and rinse and repeat and keep watching. Then when they ask a question, watch the video again and keep watching it. So that's what we ended up doing. I ended up filling out the whole entire buyer pack that we have and the whole entire seller pack. And I automated the entire thing and explained to them how you properly fill it out. And it made my life so easy. And then ultimately too, I think you and Alex shared with me your 84 days to success, what that looks like. And we modified that for what our company looks like. But that's that's our guideline that we follow.
I love it. And for everybody that's listening in, what Joel's saying is, don't wake up or, thinking about the night before, what the heck am I going to do training wise for these people tomorrow, right? Have the process built out. They've nailed their onboarding process to where it's just a checklist of items. The first 100 days are laid out without question. They already know what's going to happen. I mean, that's just a great practice to have. And anytime you have a new hire, right, you want to lay out their calendar as far, a minimum of 2 weeks out. That way you don't have to think about it, right? Because if you're thinking about it, then it's taking you away from your high leverage activities that you need to be doing to making sure that you're performing your job function as head of company, driving sales, driving the agent attraction. And so you want to put a little bit of work in and lay that out. And that's what they've done a great job of. And if you guys are looking to grow, expand, and I can't straight it's systems and processes that will set you free, and you better have those in place before you try to grow, or it's all going to come tumbling down on you.
Yep. And I see the Q&A from Jeff Moore. He wants us to share the onboarding process, and absolutely, I will. I'll share whatever I got. So
Cool.
if you want me to share that with you, we can post it, or do you want me to have them?
Yeah, you can just share it with me, and I'll throw it into the Facebook group when we get this recording posted up for everybody. So that's cool. Looks like we've got Ken Hirschman is asking, what's the best product platform from screen share training videos and creating a training or e-library? How and where do you store them? What is the best video conference product for 2 people and more than 2 people if I'm running a remote team? You want to take a stab at that?
Yeah. So actually, the Kajabi platform. I mean, I don't know if that's the right answer or not, but I'll tell you what. When you guys recreated your website and we took something off of that, it was like that was it. So it's literally one location. I could see the progress of an agent to make sure they're watching all the videos in our entire platform. I mean, ultimately, they're stored on our Google Drive. Nothing special. I don't have a treasure chest over here with all this stuff in it. So that's where they live. But ultimately, I send the agents to a Kajabi platform. They log in, and then they go through the whole training process.
Yep. So, Ken, we use Zoom. This is what we're on right now, right? So you can definitely go, record everything through Zoom, and you can do screen share. You can, record your screen going through, doing everything. We use Wistia to house all of our videos. And then, from there, everything can get loaded into a platform like Kajabi. There's a couple other programs out there, but Kajabi's pretty common, pretty affordable. I mean, you're a couple $100 a month, and that's the best. So Zoom works well. It's ideal to where you can definitely. It's manageable and it's not going to break the bank. So those are a couple good platforms. I would also say, and so this is for you, Jeff, man, Gary Regish, Joel, I don't know if you've spent any time or met Gary. Gary's in Michigan, man. He's got over 100 agent organization, and we're talking through right now. I think ideal for Gary is set up his own workplace account, Facebook Workplace. And so, Jeff, I think internally, depends on what size you are at. We used to use Slack, but I just think everybody is so familiar and inside of Facebook, that workplace, and you guys are familiar with it with EXP workplace. I think at a certain point that's the ideal solution. You can record live inside of workplace. So you might even do live trainings that are housed that you can house inside of workplace as well on Facebook. So I think that's a great solution that we need to really take a look at as we continue to grow. I think there's a certain size. Joel, I think you guys are close to it. That makes the most sense. So I think, closed group inside a workplace, I think would be not the EXP workplace. I think you get to a certain point, you have your own, right? So like Chase Stacy, almost to a size that it would make sense. I don't know what a magic number is, but I know the gentleman that I was referring to, he's definitely at the size that makes the most sense to really work into and go. So yeah, cool. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah, and I got Jeff Moore's asking if we use an internal intranet, and yeah, we do. We have a backdoor intranet attached to our Gmail suite, and it's what we have on there is we have every single fillable document that we use. We have a buyer pack, we have a seller pack, we have a miscellaneous pack. We also have all of our own all of our affiliates there, so all of our approved inspectors, plumbers, all the way on down the line. We also have some Jordan Belfort training videos in there, some previous training videos, but it's very, I don't want to say surface level in a bad way. I would rather them go to, our main training page to view those videos rather than, in the intranet.
Yeah, here's another one to even think about. If you're at a small size, use the Expert Mentors platform. You can load your own training programs in there as well. $29 a month. You have all of these Expert Mentors. You have all the NAEA, CHSA, CHBA, NAEA membership. You've got all kinds of other trainings in there. Agent Attraction, 10 by 10. Man, $29 a month. That one's hard to beat, especially when you're a dozen or less. Right, team size. That might be the best solution of all.
I waited on that, and I kept saying, "Hey Al, you got a video for this? Hey Al," and he goes, "Dude, would you just sign up?"
It's all in Expert Mentors, and
it sure as hell is.
The library in there, man. We got to get dude. There's thousands of dollars worth of training content loaded inside of that platform. So if you guys aren't taking advantage of expertmentors.com, you're missing out for sure. Cool. All right, brother. I appreciate you, man. I'll get this video posted up for everybody. And, if you guys have any questions, let us know. And again, man, thank you for adding value, being a true expert mentor and helping everybody out today. And for all of you guys on the call or listening to the recording, man, please share your biggest takeaway and please give some love for Joel and all of the expert mentors that jump on, taking the time out to come and pour and add value to us. And, if you're listening to this and that you can add value, please, man, hit me up, just message me and reach out, and we'll love to get you in the lineup for future Expert Mentors Live. Cool. Awesome, brother. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
We'll see you.
See you guys.